I'm here today protesting at the Crowndale Centre outside Keir Starmer's constituency office about the genocide that's about to happen. I don't believe, and I know, that the people of Gaza should not be assumed to be supporting Hamas, but they're being punished and killed with no water, no food, no fuel, no energy. It's absolutely horrendous, the international support for Israel, when there should be discussions and a ceasefire and a resolution sorted that way.
I think Starmer made a U-turn on the question of whether or not he had explicitly supported the Israeli attempt of genocide by just starving and cutting off all the water to Gaza. I think he explicitly said it. There's no question that he did it. There's footage of it. And I think he's making a U-turn because he realizes, as he was told by some people, that they were thinking of bringing him up on charges for murder. Quite right, too. But I think he realizes that he put himself in grave jeopardy, and that the general public is not supporting that kind of a position, and that he puts also his election possibilities in jeopardy as well. These guys make their calculations based on votes, and they know they're not going to get votes by supporting genocide, which is what Starmer was doing. I'm here today because I'm Jewish, and I come from a Jewish tradition which says that we are always on the side of the oppressed, never on the side of the oppressors. And I am here to make sure that I'm on the side of the oppressed, and that Jews stand up for the oppressed. That's the tradition. That's what my mother, she comes to all the demonstrations. She's 93, and that's why she's there. And that's what my father was for, and all my grandparents were for. That's the kind of people that we consider to be Jewish. That's what it means to be Jewish.
I've been personally campaigning about Palestine for decades now, I can say. And I know the mood on the street has changed massively. Keir Starmer doesn't know that. He's still lining up absolutely fair and square with the Israeli state and with the Israeli actions and with the actions of a completely disgraced Prime Minister. Why we're here is to try to pressure Keir Starmer, who's our representative in this constituency, and to pressure the government and the Labour Party and anyone who has any influence on the way that the UK behaves, not to line up with people who are taking a warmongering approach, ignoring the horrendous number of deaths of every human being, among them probably half children. You know, we're disgusted by the way that the world is allowing this absolute massacre to happen, and why we're here is we want it to stop.
Well, I know Keir Starmer personally, and I know that he changes with the wind, and he started off, he thought he'd support Israel. Now he realises that that's unpopular in the Labour Party, and he's backtracking. I mean, I've supported Labour for 20 years, but this is the least Labour socialist government we are likely to have. How much difference we'll notice from the Tories, I do not know. I mean, it's just a pale shadow of what it could have been under Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, so I'm totally against what the governments are doing, the US, the UK, the UN. Like, the choices that are being made are really against the Palestinian people, and I don't feel like the civilians are being heard at all or being seen. Everything's being censored that's on our side and willing to show you guys what's going on. So it makes it very difficult for them to have a voice. So that's what we're here for today.
This group that I support, which protects children, their representative in Gaza tried to move south with his 4 children and his wife on the day they were told to go. They went to 4 different places trying to find somewhere safe. Each place there was a bomb so close that they thought they were the ones that were being killed. In the end, they ended up in one of the refugee camps for the night. By that time, the children were so traumatized that the little boy couldn't use his left leg and the little girl had no feeling in her foot or her hands. Now that is what is going on there, and we're not being told it. What's happening to these children is appalling. And I'm afraid I'm a teacher and I cannot cope with it. And my husband died 2 years ago, and I find that very difficult to cope with. How do you cope when you meet a Palestinian man who says, all my family have died, my 5 children and my wife? You can't cope with it. I'm sorry, that's why I'm here.